again, by the time I came along and watched a lot of the building was already even in a little bit of disrepair. It wasn't what it was, say, in the 50s or 60s when it was in its heyday. But I remember, going up and then walking into the theater itself. It's how I describe any cinema. It's how I describe any theater. Is there's just a magic to it. One of the things I like to talk to people about, and almost a common denominator, everybody has a favorite movie. My favorite movie of all time is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Any of my friends can probably tell you what their favorite movie is. You could probably tell me what your favorite movie is. That's the thing. It's our great common denominator. It's our old, they used to tell stories around the campfire. It's our new campfire. That's, the projector light itself. There are new campfire stories.
The theater had just closed, but the Jasper family was very insistent they were going to try to do some repairs. It had some major roof leaks at the time it closed. They were going to repair the roof and find another operator to take it over, which they never were able to do. In fact, they never were able to make the repairs, and they didn't find another owner who was going to come in. And downtown development, of course, our offices are directly across the street from it. First thing I saw every morning was the Virginia Theater sitting right across the street. And I knew that we needed it not only as a piece of the fabric of the downtown architecture, but we needed it for its business attraction to bring people downtown at nights and weekends.
Bob has loved downtown Somerset really all of his life, but when he was president of Downtown Development Corporation, he and Gib Gosser, who was the executive director, really had the Virginia Theater restoration as a cornerstone for the Renaissance Kentucky project that Governor Patton had introduced at that time. But the owner was not sure that he was ready to part ways with the building, and it took a long time of persuading, lots of shoe leather, as Gib Gosser said, about my husband walking almost every day to talk to Dee and to try to win him over and try to save this building. I think each generation has played a role in getting it to this point.
It was devastating, really, because the last time I had been in there was as a kid, seeing a dollar film, probably 1990 or something like that. And so to see, the roof collapsed into the building, you couldn't get from the front door to the stage because of the material that had fallen. So in order to go to the other side of the building, you had to go through the back door. And it was just really depressing. The movie screen had a big tear in it, and the speaker had fallen onto the stage, and it just really depressing to see the remains of what was left. The balcony had collapsed, and just hard to imagine it could ever be anything again for most people, I think. And it was, to most, thought of as kind of as a lost cause.
We said, we've got to buy this building. There's grant money right now that'll put a new roof on it, and we've just got to do something to buy and hold this building. Added up, I think we had about 350 different contributors to raise that. I think it was $55,000. The first $75,000 of the $54,000 went to buy the building. We did still have to pay for the building. Then we just said we had to put up some match to get state funds.
I remember in 2004, a lot of us with Clear Channel Radio did our morning shows from right out here out in front of the theater itself, to do a fundraiser to help save the roof. At least it was called Save the Virginia, but it was basically just to really put at the time get a roof on it, so because there had been so much extensive damage already done on the inside.
Pretty daunting task, really, because it had gotten worse since the first time I was in there. The situation had gotten even worse, and so it was not safe to be in there, and getting it down to a shell was a huge accomplishment, and because most people that had been in there thought at that point it was a teardown. There was no way to save it, and we didn't want to hear that. we put some hard work into it, blood, sweat, and tears, and got it to at least where it was dry and clean, not squeaky clean, but it didn't have debris in it anymore.
We set out to, quote, save the Virginia, and I think we did save the Virginia, because if we hadn't done that 20 years ago, it would be a vacant lot today, I'm sure. It would have fallen down. It wasn't far from falling down when we bought it. We did get some structural engineers in to look at the walls and the roofing and the foundations, and the biggest problem at that time was the roofing. We replaced the entire roof, and it's the roof that's still there today, I believe. I believe it's the roof that we'll enjoy for many years to come.
I think if we don't protect the history of our communities, we lose that continuity of spirit and heritage that's so vital in giving us all a sense of place.
Everybody likes a good sequel, and that's what this is. It's a sequel, not just for the building itself, but for Somerset. I've thought all along, too, that a big part of that would be the Virginia itself, and to be that sequel, to say that, downtown is thriving again, downtown is important again.